I'm not single because nobody wants me. No. I'm still single because the people I want, they don't want me. That is a huge difference, okay?
Welcome back, family. This is African Arrow, the voice of the world, where Conga we tell you the truth they don't want you to hear. Today, I've come across such a question, something that is trending. Why do you think most of the black women in USA, they are single? They are single and proud to be single. Not that they don't want to be loved. We know each human being wish to have a partner, wish to have a family, and like to be loved like another person, like another one else in the world, because we are all human beings. We know we have some feelings, but let's break down this. This is African Arrow. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment for more and more commentaries about what's happening in the world.
Being single and without a kid is my biggest flex. So let me tell you some reasons I'm still single at 26. One, I am a black woman who only dates within my race and I live in Southern California. That's number one. Two, I was a serial relationshiper between 18 and 25, so I dedicated a lot of time early on into relationships. Three, I have a very active and present father who reminds me constantly of my worth and my value, and the way that my dad treats my mom and constantly shows up in that way just makes me never want to settle for less than. And I don't think I really valued that until I got older. And lastly, I definitely want to be the person that I'm hoping to attract and seek. So there's a lot of personal growth and development that I have to do within myself. But definitely, I love being single, happy to be single, but it can be lonely at times.
So the reason why a lot of black women are unmarried and are going to remain unmarried is for this reason. I just saw a black woman get on Beyonce's internet and have the unmitigated gall to say that she didn't know the woman buys the man the wedding band. So ma'am, who did you think bought it? I know you didn't think that he bought his own ring. You couldn't be that.
As a single black woman in her 30s, I have already accepted the fact that the dating pool in general, because I am black and because I'm of a certain age, is going to be more difficult, just based off those two things alone. And I feel like a lot of times people tell us, specifically black women, that sometimes our standards are too high, or we have unrealistic dating expectations, or like, you know, as soon as we say what we're looking for in a man, people are like, oh, you're never going to get that. And I don't know if it's just us black women, but I feel like people are always encouraging us to accept the bare minimum and lower our standards. And like, this is the only way you're going to get a man is if you do these things, because the one that you want that has good credit and knows the Lord and, you know, like the most basic things is unattainable. And I don't like that.
Hey everyone, listen, you will not believe this, but I just recorded a whole video and it erased. So today I wanted to talk about why so many black American women are single. Why? What's going on? So, anyhow, well, first of all, let's start off with the single black families, okay? I don't come from a single black family. A lot of black people do not come from single black families. They come from marital unions, a lot of them. So this is not a stereotype against all black people, okay? However, the numbers of single black women raising children are very high in a black American. Now, I'm not talking about every black person under the African diaspora. This is only relative to black Americans. These numbers do not apply to other black people in the African culture, under the African diaspora, right? So in the black American culture, there's a lot of single black homes. A lot of black women are raising kids by their lonesome without a husband. And so when a man grows up and he doesn't see his mother being loved by his 23 chromosomes, because remember, we're born with 46 chromosomes. So 50% of him is his mother. The other 50% of him is his father. And he's not seeing his father love his mother. So that can cause a lot of issues with self-esteem, how he views women, his respect for his mother. And so you see a lot of men that they didn't grow up seeing their mothers be loved, so they don't have respect for a lot of the women in their family, or for women in general, right? If a woman grows up and she's never seen her mother be loved, she's never seen her mother be married, her mother's never had a man, she's only been around single women in her family. I'm lucky that I didn't grow up seeing that. My parents are married. Everyone in my family is married. So I didn't grow up seeing that. But a lot of black families do grow up that way. And if a woman has not seen a man love her mother, or observed a healthy relationship between a man and a woman, then unconsciously she's gonna develop a view about herself that maybe she's unlovable, or maybe women are unlovable, or maybe something's wrong with her or other women. And so that can play a big part, because now we're dealing with attachment, we're dealing with self-esteem, we're dealing with trauma. And if you don't get healed, meaning you don't go to therapy, you don't go to psychoanalysis. Remember, I'm a psychoanalyst, okay, and a doctor of psychology. So if you don't see a professional, then what ends up happening is that you recreate the trauma. So in psychology, we call it intergenerational trauma, right? That's what Bowen calls it. So, but in the spiritual realm, the Christian realm, we call it generational curse. And so what happens is that you have these people who haven't healed, haven't dealt with their trauma, because they're thinking it's normal. My mother was like this, my aunt's like this, my friends are like this, it must be normal. And so they don't even know they have something to heal from, because now they've accepted it as a normalcy. They don't believe that they deserve more. So why would they go get help? And then it hasn't been a popular thing to do in the culture. It's very new to be embracing mental health now. I'm so glad that it's been normalized now, but it wasn't always normalized. So then, you have people who may think that they're crazy or something's wrong with them if they want to go see a therapist. And that's not always the case. If you need help, if you need support, get it. There's nothing wrong with it. Everybody needs it, not just African Americans. Everybody needs it. So with that being said, when you are unhealed, when you haven't been in a healthy family dynamic, you're just going to go out and recreate that. So now we're talking about attachment styles. If you didn't learn how to love from your mother or your father, then now you're going to have an insecure attachment style or an anxious avoidant attachment style. And an anxious avoidant attachment style is something that I noticed within African American culture. A lot of people are anxiously avoidant or within their attachment. So it's like they want it, but then they don't want it. I watched the Pop the Balloon show, and these people are getting eliminated for some of the most asinine, most superficial things. And it's because there's this avoidant, anxious attachment, desiring love, but not really. Oh yeah, we kicking it. Oh yeah, I'm in a situationship. All of that is attachment, insecure attachment styles. And then another thing too I noticed within the culture is a lot of people who are stuck in high school developmentally. So you have all these men and women walking around who are still in high school developmentally, okay? And so you have these people that are still stuck in high school developmentally, and high school people don't fall in love. Remember, high school people don't get married. So if you're 30, 25, 40 or older, and you are still operating developmentally because maybe you have some stuckness, maybe you have a trauma, maybe something happened to you in your life at that age, whatever the case is, you're still in high school. You're still in your identity role confusion, which is a developmental stage that happens between the ages of 12 and 18. It's when you're learning who you are. You're getting acquainted with your role in life. You're getting more acquainted with intimacy, things like that. That's why you'll see people, this is the new trend. We're all wearing heels now. Okay, we're not wearing makeup like Alicia Keys now. We're all doing this now, or whatever. That's childlike. Like, a grown woman does what she wants, A grown man does what he wants. So you have a lot of people walking around within the Black American culture who are still in high school developmentally. And so high school people don't have mature relationships, right? And then you have a lot of the men who were raised by women, their mothers, their aunties, their grandmas, their sisters. So they think like women. They think like women. They may be masculine on the outside. They'll curse you out and call you out your name, but they're feminine emotionally. How many Black American men are killing each other, shooting each other? How many of them are destroying each other over simple minded things because they think like women? They have the emotionality of a woman and the aggression and masculinity of a man. That is scary, a scary combination when you don't know who you are. And so you have all of these people walking around with these unhealed spirits and these spirits that need to be delivered. And some may even need medication for like an antidepressant, and it's not being dealt with. There's going to be a catastrophe. And so you have a lot of the men that don't like women. They don't like their mothers because the mothers raised them and may have defeminized them, may have, I'm sorry, did I say defeminize? I meant to say emasculate. Emasculate is the word. They may have emasculated their sons, or they may just be trying to access boy power because there's no men in the family. So they join gangs, or they may get around, toxic men. So they're listening to rap music, or they're looking at the actors on TV, and none of them are married, and none of them respect women, and their friends and the people around them, they don't have women. And so you have a lot of men that either they're attracted to women and they just are repulsed by them because they have issues with their mom, unresolved mommy stuff, or they don't like women at all and they play for a whole nother team. Okay, I'm talking about DL, baby. So you have all of this detachment and avoidance and unresolved trauma, and daddy's missing, and the father in a household is very important, and especially if he's a man of God and if he's healthy, that is very important. Women, choose a man that you can have a 2-parent household with, because it's very, very important for fathers to be in a household. So what I would suggest for Black American women, since the rates are so high for being single, date outside your culture. Date outside your race. Find somebody from a different region, okay? Whom is kindred to your soul. Because if you're waiting for something to come, that's never going to come, because statistics don't lie. How many are in jail? How many are dead? How many are gay? How many are with women of other races? How many of them are anxiously or avoidantly attached? How many of them hate women or hate their mom? When you look at it and you get to the numbers of like who's mentally healthy, who went to college, who's educated, who's just nice and kind. I mean, the numbers are so small, and the numbers for Black American women being unmarried are so large. Black women, stop waiting for men to show up for you that aren't going to show up. Just date outside your culture, or just focus on what you want and attract it. But don't wait. Don't wait anymore.
In USA, most of the Black women, they are single. Why do you think most of them, they are single? And yet, they have feelings to love, they can love. They have feelings of having a family, but they are single. Such a large number of the USA women, they are single. You can do your search if they are single. But for my own thinking and my own reason, that things that what makes most of the Black women in USA to be single is that they fear heartbroken, because we all know that once this gender loves, when they decide to love, they love with all their heart. That's why they fear to be heartbroken. Some of them, there's we as men, we think that, not we think that, we as men, we know that when you are
So here's 3 reasons that I am 60 and single. First of all, I divorced on year 29 of my marriage. I left at 54, 6 years ago, so I'm still single. Secondly, when you're meeting guys now, they jump to conversations that are way more intimate than what I desire to be in getting to know you. So that's out. Explicit with things that, no, I'm just meeting you. Absolutely not. Then they want to ask you questions and make you feel like you want to interview. Like, what do you do? What do you like to do when you're not working? What do you like? Maybe it's just me, but I don't like to feel like I'm being interviewed for the role, interviewed for the job. Like, can we just talk and talk about things, talk about the world, talk about what's going on, and then let things just flow organically. But as far as the succession of questions, making me feel like I have to answer the questions correctly to be chosen, I'm not on that time. I'm just not about that life. I'm just not going to do that. Let's just talk. And then I say, oh, I painted this, or I made this, or yeah, I went here. Let's just talk. Let's just let it flow. Can we get back to being organic in conversation, please?
Share your comment in the comment section. I will come to answer each and every comment. I will urge you, if you are a new member, don't forget to leave a subscribe, share, and comment for more and more commentaries about the black women, about USA, about what's happening in the world.